Hello and welcome to the midweek edition of News Desk with me, Bernice Abubeidu-Lansa. It's a pleasure to have you here. Our headlines: Physician assistants and Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana still on strike despite calls by the National Labour Commission for their decision to be rescinded. And minority in Parliament takes on President Akufo-Addo for claiming Saglemi housing project will be too expensive to complete. And former Energy Minister Boakye Jaako optimistic he'll be part of top 5 to be chosen at Super Delegates Conference later this month. We've got more on the upcoming NPP event, and we've also got business news in this bulletin. Details follow shortly. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle, also streaming live on DSTV channel 421 and on your digital TV. Also on myjawline.com globally. Thank you for your company. Now, physician assistants are on strike. They want changes to be made to the Health Professions Regulatory Bodies Act 857. They want the freedom to operate independently. Now, the firm Sana Boakye Yadom has been visiting the Kenyasi Hospital to assess the impact on the strike on healthcare delivery.
In fact, say Omumbaha no more. The Anna Ebani say, yes, catch say Omunko nearby hospital. I say, Menshia and I say, Confornochi. Yana Haumupa, Ubio, well, say your rural areas in the fancy be a sub districts near Eddie. Lorry Fair crowd, they be hospital Honmono. Yari fell no yebi until Anna Harjay. Last year, we say our community no me Namwa Bakushia Mu Humi was in a mamia every fair no. Yamenkwa anka u kwanso. Inti say government to share na utimi who or masam na or more cano and as the Ghana Health Services utimi bem. But since then yenti or mumubia ama I affect a juma and a man for community news no more health.
Okay, what he is saying is that a patient that they referred last week nearly lost his life or her life as a result of the industrial action, but they have nothing to do because they cannot do the work of the physician assistants for as long as they are not coming to work. He's pleading with government to do something about this. Ebanisana nurses no edenayana omuye wahanum say.
Mipacho nurses in India, Omono no Jumani says physician assistants anywhere, Omunia Jumebia oye. And I share organogram Nanso Ghana Health Service na physician assistants in health centers near Yina, Omuneye overall head. Into no one yajuma, Yenia wana sienina, Yajumanina, Ayaqua, Juma, no one is yet to us, Ubiabani Akachi and say uncle, a Biabani Akachi and say uncle, a have delivery no. Inti government in tries will bit my bibia faho. No share or Mosabaya or Mubit me who say Omudimand. Omudimand is unconye and yesikasem, and our government wet macasi be a minisika midibitria or moka. But one more fight my community in the whole world because said ye doctors in a pese or muka or musego or mubo. Na or mumu timi mo munya jumajis or mune supervising it. And more Ghana Health Service delivery no. Into Omushan Kama patients Musunya and who are dear on betting the attacking. The Nippon wire health insurance or Baba Jenenkwa. Now Ubino ye and Nasi will be self interest in tea, a Bemanash Renenkwa and Yakama.
Okay, so he is saying that the nurses and others under the organogram of the Ghana Health Service have nothing to do when they come to work because the physician assistants who are to supervise these healthcare centers are on strike. He's saying that government should listen to the plea of these physician assistants and aid them with whatever they need so that they can also come back to work.
Now, we've been speaking to some interested parties in this matter. Let's first hear from the Ashanti Regional President of the Physicians Assistants Association of Ghana, Michael Kufieje.
What we want is for the Medical and Dental Council. We do a holistic regulation and not to pick and choose. For now, we feel that they are picking on us. Now, if the Medical and Dental Council would regulate us and would want medical officers to supervise us directly, something that we're doing already. We are saying that it's going to hinder us in delivering care, because if I have to prescribe, if I have to manage a case, and then I'll have to place a call to a doctor somewhere, who will tell me, do this, do ABC, don't do that. What happens if the person is in theater or engaged in something else? They are places where the network is not that good. And does it mean they would have to come to the health center to sit by us in the consulting room? It doesn't allude to the benefits of our clientele. They are not doing things properly to help rural folks that we see.
So, I mean, you have embarked on this action. Did you try other means of getting the Medical and Dental Council to listen to your concerns and demands? I'm asking this because I just spoke to the Secretary of the National Labour Commission, and he was talking about how strikes have become the norm when they're actually supposed to be the last resort. What are the processes you went through with the Medical and Dental Council before making a decision to embark on the strike?
The Medical and Dental Council on different occasions, we've been in talks with them.
When you say you've been in talks with them, how have these talks been done? Is it through formal correspondence, or you sat in meetings?
Formal correspondence, and then we've had opportunity to engage even the current registrar at one of our annual general conferences, and it didn't end well. I would say that all these engagements have not yielded any good results. They do what they want to do because they feel that the physician assistant is being given too much to do. So we have to be extreme.
Well, on his part, the Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission had this to say. He spoke to me earlier on the AM show.
They have their position they are presenting. The authorities will also have their position, I'm sure. And we as mediators are going to make sure that they arrive at a settlement through negotiations. Is one of give and take, that if the parties take entrenched positions, then the matter may not be solved. And since they are, what do we call it, essential service providers, then we may have, in the worst scenario, resort to a compulsory arbitration.
Right. Mr. Samoa, the physician assistants didn't just embark on the strike. I remember there were threats before they carried out the real deal. It's been about a week. From the point of threats to real execution, did the National Labour Commission at any time try to intervene to prevent us from getting to this point?
Yes. When we got notice of their strike and their reasons for which they wanted to embark on an industrial action to ban their demand, we accordingly wrote to their employers that this is what we have at hand. What are they doing to prevent the happening of the industrial action? And of course, they will know that some steps have been taken, some meetings have gone on, except that they have been unable to settle. That is why it's gone this bad. And when it gets to this stage, then the commission will have to seize it, take over, and settle it. And that is what we are beginning from today.
Away from the strike, the minority in Parliament is challenging claims by President Akufo-Addo that the abandoned Saglemi Affordable Housing Project will be too costly to complete. And these comments he made after he cut short for the construction of a new affordable housing project in Pokwase. The group says the president's claims are untrue. Minority MP on the Works and Housing Committee, Andrew Dari Chuati, believes the Saglemi project has been abandoned for political reasons.
That we have done, you visited that site. You saw the level that we got to. This government allowed their party boys to go in and pick the doors, they picked the glasses, they picked everything. Sink, they removed the sink of the building. All these things are what is going to increase the cost of the project. That project, if well done, should serve Ghanaians. That is why he's the president. He should be able to find resources to complete that project. We should not go about saying that it will be expensive. So we should abandon it. Is that the idea? If it will be costly to complete the project, should we leave it to rot? The level that we got to, as a president, we have used taxpayers' money to build houses up to the level of just finishing. Then you tell me it will be expensive to complete it, so we drop it and go and start something afresh. Well, I thank God President Mama came clear and told Ghanaians that after him, if he comes to power, he will continue with uncompleted projects and complete them. And so for us, I know this project that they have cut short with, even if they go ahead to do it, they can't complete it. I'm assuring Ghanaians that if we come back to power, NDC comes up to power with President Mama as our president, we will complete that project for the people of Ghana to use, and we will complete the Saglema project again. And that is why we have warned that any investor, any private investor that will show interest in buying the Saglema housing project, the person should think twice, because that project is not for sale. We must complete it with government money.
Mr. Chirote also explains the full scope of the minority's objection to the new project.
Over the weekend, the committee held a meeting in Koforidua with the Minister, Honorable Asenso. And the committee, after going through the document, requested for some information. In fact, the Minister made the committee aware that the company from Morocco, they are coming with an amount of $56,856,000. Then government is also supposed to provide land. And per the information we have, government is providing about 403 hectares of land. Aside from the provision of the land, government will provide some on-site infrastructure, that is roads, water, electricity. And so the committee requested that once it's a private sector that is coming on board with this amount, and government is also providing land with other infrastructure, the committee will want to know the value of the land. Then if we get to know the value of the land, then we know how much money government is going to spend in bringing the other infrastructure. That will allow us to know what shares government will have to owe. We know State Housing Corporation is going to do some of the houses, but it is still ideal for government to come clear with the land they are providing, the amount of money they are going to spend, so that in future we don't have the company telling us that they have spent this much, and so they have the right to maybe owe this so and so numbers of housing units, and they can also sell the houses the way they want.
Now let's do some partisan politics. Now, former Energy Minister Boakye Agyarko is hoping he will be among the top 5 candidates who will emerge from the 10 persons seeking to lead the governing New Patriotic Party as flag bearer. The Super Delegates Congress of the NPP is expected to prune that number to 5, and it's getting tough. Mr. Agyarko says his message is to return power to the grassroots of the party, and he believes he's the best hand to win the NPP victory in 2024. Kwekwa Sante of our political desk has the rest of the story.
With barely 3 weeks to go, Boakye Jackson is ramping up his message to delegates as he hopes to be part of the 5 of 10 candidates the super delegates of the NPP will endorse to contest the party's flag bearership in November. The former energy minister believes the current economic challenge could pose a threat to the party's chances in 2024.
I admit, but all difficult times require new leadership and new thinking. Yes, the MPP, we've done very well, but I can tell you we can do better and we must do better. We cannot rest on our oars and pat ourselves on the back for what we did yesterday. The people of Ghana will accept us for what we commit to do tomorrow for their well-being.
Boakye Jackson has a message to his contenders who believe they can win the 2024 election simply because of their so-called special qualities.
Our winning 2024 is not going to be on the back of somebody's magic. It is not going to be one person. It is going to be people like you who are going to go down to the grassroots, polling stations to work for our victory. That is why I count you more important. No one person is going to win victory for us in 2024. It is going to be you. Therefore, we have to energize you. We have to make you ready. You have to make you happy to fight for this party for 2024.
According to him, whilst breaking the 8 is a laudable goal, it appears short-sighted.
I am interested in this party retaining power for the next 40 years. Not just breaking the 8. Not just breaking the 8. Be in power for the next 40 years. This is the only way we are going to change this country. It is going to depend on you. 40 years I will not be here. But the party will, and we must build a strong party that you are comfortable in. Most importantly, that you receive the reward of your hard work.
On 26th of August, when the super delegates vote, he wants them to remember him as the candidate who will return power to the grassroots.
Reward and hard work. And I commit to you, those who are gathered here and the silent majority of supporters around this country, that indeed the time is coming that you will receive your just reward for all the hard work you do for your party.
And that was Kweku Asante's report. Stay with us. We are your election headquarters, and we will be bringing you more. Looking forward to that August 26th Delegate Congress. Now, the Deputy Minister of Transport, Alhassan Tampoli, says government remains committed to a gradual and convenient shift towards the use of electric vehicles in the country. The minister, who was speaking at a consultative meeting on electric vehicle policy in the Techiman municipality, emphasized this will foster collaboration and generate inputs from the region's transport ecosystem to help in the implementation of the policy. Correspondent Anas Sabit has more.
The Deputy Minister for Transport and Member of Parliament for Gushegu constituency, Alhassan Tampoli, has reiterated government's commitment towards ensuring that Ghana is not left behind so far as the transition from the use of fossil fuel vehicles to electric vehicles is concerned to help curb greenhouse gas emissions and global warming.
What we are doing here is what you normally call the bottom-up approach. We are building pressure from the bottom, engage all various stakeholders. From the regional stakeholder engagement, we will engage various identifiable groups. Every identifiable group that you perceive of around, will be engaging them to get their perspectives. Perchance somebody would have some idea that is going to be even more revolutionary than we ever thought. What we do know is that we have a commitment as far as our carbon emissions are concerned, and that is what is going to guide us in taking this final decision as to exactly when we need to do. But we are minded that our carbon, emissions have to be less than 1.5 degrees Celsius.
He emphasized that steps are far advanced to ensure that the private sector is part of the implementation program to help facilitate the smooth takeoff of the policy.
What you saw in the presentation are largely private sector driven. So what we are going to have, and when we spoke to one of the groups, they were minded to provide about 250 charging ports across the country. They will provide some in Accra, some in Kumasi, and some in Takoradi. And then the next place they will go to will be Tamale. And what it also means is that whilst you are doing in those cities, you may have to provide charging ports along the routes, because the vehicle has to travel all the way to the places. So they are going to have charging ports as you move along. So basically, the private sector is going to drive this. And we are going to give the private sector every incentive and opportunity for them to be able to drive this initiative.
He was, however, quick to commend the participants of the forum for their insightful inputs and asked that the public engagement has been largely successful.
It's been a great experience as far as the stakeholder engagements in the Bono East region here in Chima is concerned. As you saw from the gathering, contributions that we got from various participants was highly illuminating. So I think that all in all, we are very impressed. And I think that also it appears that people are even more aware of the advent of electric vehicles more than we ever thought.
Deputy Director in charge of renewable energy, Doris Jodu, stated that government is creating an enabling environment to help promote the acceptance as well as the use of electric vehicles within the shortest possible time.
Definitely, government will not do something that should shun off customers from using EV. If we say we are promoting, then we have to create the enabling environment for this to become a reality. So in terms of accessing green financing schemes to bring on incentives for users is possible. We are still at the initial stages of putting things on board, looking at if it's possible to look at tax waivers and other things that government is up now. So it's something that we'll do to make sure that everybody gets on board and we get a better use for our electricity that we generate.
Anna Sabit, Joy News, Tichiman.
This is news with me, Bernice Abubedu-Lansa. Human rights activists are excited about the passage of a law criminalizing the declaration, accusation, naming or labeling of another person as a witch in Ghana. Hajia Lamnatu Adam, Executive Director of the Northern Region based on Taba, sat with my colleague Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin, and she's been speaking about what we can do to completely end the crime.
I think this is much more individualistic responsibility towards justice. We need to continuously talk to people to respect people's human rights.
Hajia Lamnatu Adam is one of the human rights activists who championed the enactment of a law to criminalize the declaration, accusation, naming or labeling of another person as a witch.
In the coming months, we want to see a lot of education, especially for those of us around this area who are, a bit deep-seated about issues on witchcraft. And you and I know what happens to any person who is accused of being a witch. I mean, you are lynched, you are banished, your property is destroyed.
However, the reintegration of persons who have been at witch camps could be difficult. Hajia Lamnatu responds to how this might be accomplished, given that those who believe in witchcraft may still be living in the communities.
How do we talk to the women to accept reintegration, and what progress or processes we need to follow to get them safely reintegrated in the communities of their choice, not necessarily where they were banished from. And so, for me, I see that this is even where work will begin.
The existence of the witch camps has economic benefits to the camp priest. So how easy will it be for them to be closed down?
Well, we cannot deny that the existence of the camps has some economic benefit that goes to the campers. And so we need to look at the economic aspect of it. How do we set up all of these campers, to be economically maybe fit? How do we talk to the women to accept reintegration? And what progress or processes we need to follow to get them safely reintegrated in the communities of their choice, not necessarily where they were banished from.
Hajia Lamnatu believes effective communication with religious leaders who sometimes raise the question of witchcraft is necessary.
This is where a lot of work now needs to be done with our communities, with the people at the camp, and again, beside the people at the camp, we need to even target our religious leaders, our Christian faith, our Muslim faith, our traditional faith. All of us, we need to, engage them seriously, because you see the pastors, the imams saying that you are not progressing because of somebody causing, being the reason why you are not progressing. And these are people who have some followers, and so they all need to understand the human rights and associated violations that comes to witchcraft and whatever that they foresee.
A section of the public believes enacting the law would improve matters.
Speaking about the law will help, because most of the times women that are being accused of being witch or those sort of things find it difficult to even go out or buy something or even engage in their normal activities in the daily life. So the law coming in will help those, even when it comes to their families and all those things, their children. They find it very difficult to go out because their parents are being accused of being a witch. Like you can see a lady or a man going and they say, this is the son or the daughter of a witch. How would you feel? So the law coming in to abolish that will really help.
I think it can change. Because if I know and he knows that if you accuse someone wrongly, the law will against you. To me, I think it can change. Seriously.
Joseph Kobina, however, challenges the law's effectiveness.
As the problem is between that of the villages and then that of the cities. In cities, the witchcraft accusation laws might take a little effect, but it will be very difficult in the villages because of the traditions that are much implemented at the villages. So it will be really difficult for government to see it being through.
So we return to Hajia Lamnatu.
I think for the first time we've seen the Equidente case, and we've seen the effort that has been made. Although for 3 years, but justice was given. And so that for me is the first step. Once there's a law that people will be charged on, the important thing is for us to report and to ensure that perpetrators are arrested and are made to go through the full rigors of the law. So for me, I think that laws will always be there. It's the implementation, and that is where we call on government to actually step its foot on implementing this law effectively.
And thought by Mohamed Nuruddin.
Now, former Executive Vice President of Unilever, Yao Nsako, says Ghana has failed to live up to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's belief that a black man is capable of managing his own affairs. Ghana's founding president is celebrated the world over for reposing absolute faith in the abilities of the black man. Speaking to Evans Mensah on PM Express, Mr. Nsako said there's now consensus Ghana has failed to meet Dr. Nkrumah's high standards.
Well, I leave it to everybody to make up their mind. I do know that when he stood at the old polo grounds and he said that the black man must show to the world that he's capable of running his own affairs, I do not believe that Ghana in 2023 today fulfills that brief. If there's somebody who believes that it does, I'd like to see the person put up his hand. And I've spoken to many people. Some of them were students of that generation. Some of them were young people who were working. I like to sit with much older people who have seen it all. They've seen Ghana unfold and come through. And I ask them all the time, I said, is this what you expected? And almost universally, the answer is no.
Mr. Nsako also says Ghana needs a mindset revolution.
The youth of today are no different from the youth of any era. They too want better conditions. They want to live a better life. They want good housing. They want good food. They want good clothes. They want sanitation. They want good health. They want education, etc. They want to get married, have a family. And it is these concerns that drive people. Che Guevara himself said the revolutionary is driven by love. So this sort of empty militancy, people just go, he says a revolutionary is driven by love. It is a willingness to see society become better that drives a revolutionary, not the sort of empty wildcat orientation towards violence and so on that we've come to associate with the word. That's why Fidel Castro, people don't read the book for yourself, describe Jesus Christ as a revolutionary. So when you're talking mindset revolution and so on, which you say we will come to.
What is it, by the way? What is mindset revolution?
Amilcar Cabral and many others famously spoke about. Amilcar Cabral said the first dimension of revolution must necessarily be cultural. Because when you wake up and you say we need to improve, that is an indictment on your current circumstances. The insight into the condition calls for critical reflection and a re-examination of the circumstances that you are in. That is mindset revolution.
You can cut that full interview with Evans Mens on PM Express online. Now, Joy News checks at the construction site of Ghana's first amphitheatre in Kenyasi reveals the structure is still at foundation level, elapsing the slated 3-month completion date. Now, this is despite government's assurance that the edifice would have been commissioned last month. In the following report, Lava Firm's Emmanuel Bright Kweku assesses the progress of work on the project.
We say in the name of the Father,
In April this year, when he had sought for work to begin on the construction of Ghana's first amphitheatre, Deputy Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Marco Krekumante, was emphatic on completion date.
This amphitheatre is supposed to start any moment from now. We are casting salt in the next few minutes. By end of July, it should be ready. Did the media take this one? Please put this on record.
Let me thank you for now the Minister of Information.
On October 19, 2022, Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, announced the government's plan to build 5 multi-purpose domes or amphitheatres by the close of December 2022.
We are going to build 5 amphitheatres, domes. One area that we lack in this country is that we don't have multi-purpose, venue for activities. We're going to do 5 this year. In fact, I think the process has already begun to procure supplies. This year, next year, we'll have planned 550 acres. And then we'll do another 5 next year. So by 2024, we'll have done all the system regions will have been covered. To get the venue for our artists to perform and for events to take place. Again, what I will do, we are creating jobs, create opportunity for Ghanaians.
The project, as part of the ministry's developmental initiatives, is to revamp tourism and the creative arts industry in Ghana, but the assurance never saw the light of day within a specified time frame. Coming into 2023, many creative art industry players had hoped construction works for the facility would begin expeditiously in the early part of the year. But it was not until 6 months after the announcement was made that the Deputy Sector Minister, Marco Krekumanti, cut sword for the multi-purpose domes.
We are here, we are on the soil or on the ground to start the project, and so we are here to do the fair and everything.
Amphitheatres are open-air venues used for entertainment, performances and sports. The amphitheatre would have 1,000 sloping seat capacity, including theatre-style stages with seating on only one side. The project is expected to be replicated across 16 regions of Ghana, with 5 of them seeing completion this year. Ghanaian actor and chairman of the Ghana Actors Guild Ashanti chapter, Bill Asamoah, was convinced the structure would uplift the creative industry.
Even though we have amphitheaters here in Kumasi already, this is a modern state of the art where it's covered, where we can do our premieres, the sound and everything will be that befits a movie theater. So we appreciate it so much.
3 months after the Deputy Minister's assurance, I visited the site to assess the progress of work. Exactly 7 days to the end of July, and this is the level of work at the project site. The foundation for this amphitheater has been laid as constructors over here race against time to complete the edifice, but one could only wonder if they would be able to meet the expected date for commissioning. Constructors at the site who opted to speak off camera could not confirm to me when the project will be completed. Not everyone is happy with the delayed promise.
The first one that they promised has not even actually taken any shape. So what's the guarantee that we're going to have those 5 in the year, and by 24 we should have all the 16 regions have amphitheaters? I mean, come on. I don't think anyone can actually justify this. So obviously it's a deceit. Entertainment pundit Ebenezer Donko is perturbed by the government's faltering commitment to the creative arts. So you're just looking at a government that's ready to put some of these things in place to make sure that creatives get to enjoy. Let's not forget that creatives contribute a lot to the economy, and if we really want to actually put this nation forward, we really want to talk about things that this country can offer, the creative industry is very important. We always seem to think about just tourism and think about tourism destinations and our tourism sites. With hopes of salvaging Ghana's struggling creative arts sector, it was expected that the first of the 16 edifices located at the Kenyasi Cultural Centre would soon be completed. Successive governments have over the years failed in their mandate to either deliver on promises on time or abandon projects completely. But the question is, are these delayed promises in the creative arts industry denying the country economic boost? For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Quickly.
Now, young girls in the Wa East District of the Upper West region taking part in this year's Basic Education Certificate examination have been given menstrual pads to forestall any setbacks. This follows the donation by Member of Parliament for Wa East, Dr. Godfred Seydou Jassol. Rafiq Salam has more.
Ever since he took over as the legislature of the Wa East constituency, Dr. Godfred Seydou Jassol had education as one of his priority areas. He had his eyes firmly focused on. For the past 4 years, he has donated mathematical sets, organized and funded mock examinations for candidates in the Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE, in the constituency.
Most of them come from poor households. They are not able to afford mathematical sets and other support for these candidates. You know the critical role of mathematical sets in most of the exams they write. And so I've been doing this in the last 3 or 4 years. I've also been organizing mock exams to support them, prepare them adequately for these exams. Fortunately, we've recorded, in fact, we have always been first place in the region. And so I intend to keep this record for my students in my BEC students in Wa East.
With the BEC slated to begin on Monday, August 7, Dr. Godfred Jassol has this year added sanitary pads to items on his donation list for onward distribution to the female candidates who will be taking part in the examination.
Now, there have been a lot of reports of some females that engage in sex trade to be able to afford sanitary pads. Indeed, some of them even struggle, and it can be very embarrassing for them. Some stay out of school and so on. So this year, I've resolved that I will support them with these sanitary pads to take them at least the next 3 months. So the package we are giving them will support them for 3 months. This should give them peace of mind during the exam. If any situation like that arises, they have sanitary pads to be able to take care of themselves. Whilst they are waiting for the results, they will also be able to take care of themselves in the next 3 months. And so this is my widow's mind to support them, make sure that my female students in particular are well prepared and well psychologically stable to be able to undertake these exams.
The donation of the sanitary pads and mathematical sets were done on behalf of the West Member of Parliament, Dr. Godfrey Jesau, by his administrative assistant, Abdul Latif Kapuri, starting at the Mengudia JHS. A total of 1,250 students, comprising 713 boys and 537 girls, are taking part in this year's examination. 30 of them are at the Mengudia JHS, and each of them were given a mathematical set, while the 20 females among them, in addition, were handed over the sanitary pads. Vice District Director of the Ghana Education Service, Isa Jinsong, thanked the MP for the kind gesture.
I think this is very good because he's a lecturer, he knows a lot about education, and he has been supporting us a lot. There's nothing you go and tell him and he will turn his back to it. He has renovated some of our schools and has provided us with furniture and a lot of things.
Rafiq Salam with that report. It's now time to take a breather. When we come back, Daro Kwa will be letting you in on what's the latest in the world of business. Do stay.
Hello, my name is Abeku Agri Santana. If there's anything that makes my life so easy, it is my bank. I love hanging out with my boys at our usual fufu joint. But even without cash, we still dey chop better with EcoBank Mobile. No matter the time of day, my bank helps me stay in touch with my beautiful wife whenever she's away. And when my beautiful wife is in town, she never misses out on her favorite TV shows because I'm able to pay up all my TV subscriptions from the comfort of my mobile phone. Whenever she has to get groceries too, my bank makes it cashless and convenient. And the part my wife loves the most is when my bank makes it possible and easy for her to shop from any part of the world without moving.
Welcome to the smart world of EcoBank. Download EcoBank Mobile from Google Play Store or the App Store and discover the smart way to bank. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
For crystal clear and thrilling podcasts and live shows, download and listen to us on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, MyJoy Online, Amazon services like Echo, Amazon Music, and Audible, Stitcher, Adom Online, Overcast, and Pandora. Take note of everything. Sign up for the multimedia digital platforms now to stay updated.
The second clinic of the 2023 edition of the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair promises to excite patrons in many ways. The West Hills Mall will host all relevant players in the housing and construction industry in Ghana from Friday 4th to Sunday 6th August 2023 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. This year's exhibition is under the theme Home Ownership, Affordability, Comfort, or Luxury. Visit the clinic and engage the providers in the housing value chain on all your housing needs, be it financing, land acquisition, rent to own, outright purchase, roofing, lighting, electronic appliances, home security, or home furnishing. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is your one-stop shop for everything housing. To register as an exhibitor, please call 0244 260 653. There will be daily giveaways by the sponsors to visitors at the fair. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats. Rent to Own, and sponsored by Elegant Homes and General Construction Limited, where quality meets value. Syntex tanks, a strong, a tough. EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Affordability, comfort, or luxury.
It feels good to football with GoTV. Nobody but GoTV gives you all games of La Liga and Serie A, the Premier League and UEFA games that matter, and the world's favorite cup competitions. Get GoTV Super for only 249 cedis to enjoy the football overload. GoTV, love it.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The British International Investment has launched the Growth Investment Partners Ghana to offer capital support of up to $50 million to 150 Ghanaian small and medium-scale enterprises to address their financing needs and also deepen their contributions to the economy. The capital will provide long-term flexible payment within the next 15 years for businesses. Speaking at the launch of the initiative, Managing Director and Head of Africa at British International Investment, Chris Gigiotomi, stated that this investment platform will boost funding for SMEs in the country. Here's more from the launch.
SMEs face many challenges with accessing growth capital through traditional funding sources, including high interest rates, short-term loans, high collateral requirements, among others. In a bid to address some of these issues, the British International Investment has launched the Growth Investment Partners Ghana to support 150 SMEs with a capital of $50 million to boost their growth, create jobs and deepen their contributions to the economy. Speaking at the launch of the investment platform, Managing Director and Head of Africa at British International Investment, Chris Gigiotomi, said the support scheme will meet the financial need of local businesses which otherwise were not available on the market.
We need to create something that is going to last, outlive a lot of us here. So something more kind of what we call a permanent capital vehicle. So that's one element of the uniqueness of this. And therefore, BII is looking to back this with up to $50 million of its capital. Largely, for me, it would be great to have a lot of local capital into GI because this is a local business. It's local capacity building, it's local capital market building.
Chair of the Growth Investment Partners Ghana, Albert Essien, stressed on the importance of this initiative in growing and developing the SME sector.
It is my hope that SMEs will take advantage of this unique opportunity to embrace the work with GIP in a transparent, fair and honest manner for their mutual success. The board of GIP under my chairmanship, together with management, will work hard to ensure that this innovative financing model deliver on its mandate and become an integral part of the SME financing ecosystem in Ghana.
Jacob Coley is the Chief Executive of Growth Investment Partners Ghana and has been explaining their criteria for assessing the funds.
Any business that meets any two of the following three criteria: turnover of up to $50 million equivalent in cedis, or total assets of up to $50 million in local currency, and employees of between 10 to 300. So any company meeting any two of these qualifies for GIP funding. Of course, the businesses must be incorporated in Ghana, and their main operations must be in Ghana, and at least 50% of their revenues must be generated from its operations in Ghana.
Small and medium-scale enterprises occupy a critical role in the Ghanaian economy, accounting for over 90% of businesses' enterprises, 60% of the country's GDP, and 80% of all employment. Despite their importance to the economy, The SME financing gap is estimated at $4.8 billion, one of the largest in Africa.
Now, President of the Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply, Samuel Annan, has indicated that the procurement industry is playing a critical role in helping government realize its industrialization agenda. According to him, the industry is contributing significantly to the realization of Ghana's socio-economic development agenda. He was speaking at an MOU signing ceremony between the Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply and the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration.
The Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply and the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration have signed a memorandum of understanding to bridge the gap between academia and industry. The MOU is also aimed at ensuring professionalism in the practice of the profession. In an interview with Joy Business, President of the Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply, Simon Annan, reiterated commitment towards helping the country realize its industrialization agenda.
And procurement supply chain is what will move Ghana from where we are to the next level. And if I say that, what it means is that the government procurement that we're doing, it is what we're going to use to promote the industrialization, promote the SMEs, and ensure that there's value for money. And I have maintained that Ghana's socio-economic development agenda cannot be achieved without appreciation of the role of procurement in our national discourse. And that's what we have to all be thinking about and say, how do we use procurement to build Mother Ghana that we all deserve?
Rector of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, Kwesi Bonso, said this partnership was critical in bridging the academia and industry gap.
We recognize the value of industry experience for our students, and for GIMPA, that is really what we do. You know, we try to find a good balance between theory and practice. So we've had industry come into our classrooms. We go to our industry partners through what we call a practitioners forum. So the practitioners forum, we usually have partners coming from industry and from other walks of life outside of academia. Now, partnerships like this will concretize that arrangement, and then it's going to help our students appreciate the world of work, and therefore support the development of students who are ready for industry, so they will leave the program ready to work.
The Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply also reiterated its commitment towards ensuring high standards in the practice of the profession.
And that's it for this segment. The news returns after the break.
She feels my head and it is hot. Are you all right? No. How can I when I'm not anyone's hero? My first failure occurred because I didn't listen to him. I wanted to go into the sciences.
Okay.
So, well, with my friends, we decided we were going to take the exam.
You believed so much in yourself.
I said I was going to do it and I was going to make it big. I fell flat on my face.
Oh.
Don't tell me that's enough. Yes.
Oh.
I haven't put in that much salt and pepper.
We've had news file over the weekend, and an interesting part of the conversation focused.
Oh no, we are out of range.
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I have Alexa in my bag.
Alex, what?
Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana and play Joy FM.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
Listen to Joy FM, Hits FM, Love FM, live on your Amazon Echo. Listen to your favorite multimedia radio stations live on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana, play Joy FM or Hits FM or Love FM. Or catch up on your favorite podcast by saying, Alexa, play, and then the name of your favorite podcast from Multimedia Ghana. For a list of all podcasts available, say Alexa. Ask Multimedia Ghana to browse programs.
And we are back like we never lost signal.
Alexa, welcome to Multimedia.
The second clinic of the 2023 edition of the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair promises to excite patrons in many ways. The West Hills Mall will host all relevant players in the housing and construction industry in Ghana from Friday 4th to Sunday 6th August 2023 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. This year's exhibition is under the theme Home Ownership, Affordability, Comfort or Luxury. Visit the clinic and engage the providers in the housing value chain on all your housing needs, be it financing, land acquisition, rent to own, outright purchase, roofing, lighting, electronic appliances, home security, or home furnishing. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is your one-stop shop for everything housing. To register as an exhibitor, please call 0244-260-653. There will be daily giveaways by the sponsors to visitors at the fair. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats. Rent to own, and sponsored by Elegant Homes and General Construction Limited, where quality meets value. Syntex tanks, strong, tough. EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Affordability, comfort, or luxury.
Thank you so much for staying here on News Desk. That'll be it for today's edition. Our top story: Physician Assistants and Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana still on strike, despite intervention by the National Labour Commission for them to rescind their decision. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Do stay with us. There's also more news when you visit our Facebook page. It's Joy News on TV. Also on Twitter, we are Joy News on TV. Thank you so much for your company once again. Do stay with us. This is your most credible news source.